Hello, beautiful soul, and welcome back. Today, we are diving into purpose and your soul's blueprint and exactly what has been ingrained in your DNA, your genetic signature, as well as your energetic signature. So, I'm going to be talking about all things, embodiment, mind, body, soul, the beliefs, the physical structure of who you are and what you came here to do, and also the soul, the energetic piece of what your unique blueprint is. So, whether or not you already feel like you're clear on your purpose and your mission and the things that you're here to do, or whether you're at a crossroads and maybe you're a little bit uncertain and you don't know what that looks like, or maybe you're in something that felt like what you were supposed to do, or maybe it was something that felt expected of you and you felt kind of pushed or pressured by family, friends, society, anything, old beliefs. And now you're realizing that it's not fulfilling. It's not what you want. Or you may be super clear, and maybe I forget if I even gave that option. You might be like, yes, this is it, but you're just wanting to feel more empowered or have some extra energetic insight from me on this. Okay, so across the board, let's get into it. All things purpose. I am a firm believer that we incarnated onto this planet with a unique soul signature and with a unique mission. And I like to talk about your mission template, which is something that I believe each and every one of us has literally embedded into us. I talk very often about the subconscious and how it is like a software, it is a programming. And we get a lot of influenced, negative, heavy programming in our upbringing because of the way things were, the things that were normalized, the survival and stress and struggle that many of us probably saw in our parents and the generations before that, right? So the programming that we take on is often very disconnected from our true eternal nature and the divine programming. So on that note, I'm like, where do I want to go with this? Your program, I believe, you had a deep knowing of what you were coming to this planet to do. And I want to also release any attachment or pressure of it having to be this massive purpose or something that your ego feels is important and validated by, because it could also be that your soul incarnated and a huge part of your mission is to bring peace. And this has been like very challenging for me to accept because my I'll just say it, like my soul didn't incarnate to work really hard. It didn't incarnate to hustle and be like building physically, although I have done a ton of that and I've set myself up with like a really beautiful foundation, which I do feel was part of my path. But moving forward, like so much of what my soul's blueprint is and what I'm here for is to be the guide and to see and feel really deeply and to assist with the energetic and the subconscious shifts that need to take place. So my ego for my whole life, I had always known I was here for something big, but my ego had attached that to 3D constructs of thinking like it's going to look this way or that way, or I have to succeed here, or I have to follow the structure and get a degree in order to do that, or all those beliefs and all those programs. And it's been a process of dismantling those one by one, coming back to the core truth of like, actually, my highest alignment is me being very well rested, very peaceful, and in a place where my heart and my energy just overflows. And I see people very deeply, naturally. I guide them very naturally. I assist them in releasing the heaviness and the blocks and the programs that are disconnected or not aligned with their highest soul's calling. But it's been a breakdown for me to accept that I'm not meant to keep hustling, and I don't need to keep trying to force myself to work hard to show that I'm worthy and to fit into the old systems that prioritize that and kind of put that on the pedestal, right? So we all have these different programs that I would say are like your core programming of like, this is what is literally ingrained in you. This is what you're here for. This is your essence. And we can see that in the subconscious. We can also see that in your energetic field. And we can see that often when you connect to your heart, because there's a part of you that just knows, like, these things that call you forward, that feel really good, that don't feel like work. It feels exciting and playful and joy-filled, and like that is purposeful, and that is your aligned way. It's so easy for you to show up and give back that way. I would say like 9 times out of 10, if not 10 times out of 10, that is a huge part of what your mission template is. And so as we dismantle and clear out the old programming, we give ourselves permission to start opening back up to what is truly meant for us. And then doing the energetic alignment work to step into that more. So every single person, I like to think of it as whether we want to, let's just go into it, into the DNA and the genetics. You have such a unique genetic coding. And yes, we understand some of it came from your mom's side, some of it came from your dad's side, but I also believe a lot of it came from galactic origins, especially many of us who are on this path and working towards ascension of the planet and creating these positive shifts, this positive momentum. There are also the higher level, like genetic coding and the DNA activations that come from God and the divine and your true expression. So instead of the suppression of who you are, the contraction, and oftentimes we see with like health issues, the constriction, or what is created from genetic defects or trauma or health issues being passed down in the lineage. So as you start to recalibrate and open back up and allow yourself to be recoded and doing the deep healing to connect to a higher power, then you start to alter your DNA. And epigenetics has proven that the power of the subconscious can override anything that has been born within us. Research it yourself. I'm not going to go into it. But I've spent a lot of years researching that and looking at different teachings and the ways that our mind and our beliefs, which influence our emotions as well, and the emotional state, the frequency we're in, right? If we're in fear and anxiety, or if we're in like love and expansion and trust and faith, right? Our beliefs influence our emotions. And it's been proven that both of those things also influence our genetic and cellular health. And it's also been proven that we can override anything on the DNA level. It's also been talked about, and whether you believe in it or not, and I don't know the exact study, but you can Google it, there are multiple studies regarding the holographic nature of our DNA and the ways that when you shift something, you think of the trillions of cells that we have in our body and the ways that they're communicating and replicating all the time. And if it took time for that to be passed on, it would take like hundreds of years. So it's happening at quantum speed. It's happening in a holographic nature where when something changes to 1, they all reflect that change immediately. It's like when you see the one little fractal and then it reflects outwards and they've all suddenly been activated, right? There's so many studies that speak to that as well. And the whole premise of why I brought that up regarding epigenetics is just the fact that you are a powerful sovereign being and you can override your, like, the things that you were born with, the things that many of us believe we are now stuck in and oh, I'm going to repeat these patterns, or, oh, these health issues are part of my family line, so I'm going to have them too. It's been proven that that's not true, and that our consciousness is at the forefront of what we create. So getting back around, I don't know how I got into that, is like the aligned mission template, in my personal belief. You were born with some of this, if not all of this, printed into your DNA and into the cellular memory. Now, it just might be expanding and expressing itself in different ways now, because society has evolved so much since you were born. And the opportunities, the potentials, the ways that you can show up and create have probably like skyrocketed from where they used to be. Just like when I was really little, I remember at like 5 or 6 years old, dreaming and or like daydreaming and telling my parents how I'm going to work with elephants, and I'm going to help women around the world, and I'm going to have my own charity, and I'm going to travel to all these far off places and save the planet, work with like animals, the environment, women, all of this, right? And at the time in the 90s, that didn't seem super possible. So to my parents' level of consciousness, to society at the time and what was normal, the things that I listed off were not super easy or not super accessible. And I remember them kind of dismissing it and saying like, that's a great dream, but maybe don't lose sleep on it. Like it might not happen, right? And I think in hindsight that that was just a part of what was literally ingrained in my DNA, and part of my soul's passion, my soul's pull for what I'm here to do on the planet. It was being expressed through the little 5 or 6 year old Kara with that deep inner knowing. So it's about coming back to that and giving ourselves the best opportunity to now express at the higher level and show up at the higher level. Because in the day and age we're in now, all those things that I dreamed about are very possible, and there's many people doing them. I've done a lot of that already in my own life, but I still have so much more I want to create and impact. But what seemed impossible 20 years ago or 30 years ago is now happening, right? So we have to understand that not only is the consciousness evolving, but the opportunities are constantly evolving. And as a living species, part of our role is to evolve as well, to evolve alongside with it, and to then start embodying the fullness. So that's kind of like the epigenetic side and the DNA side of like what you have ingrained in every cell in your body, these little fractals and these little holograms, or you could see, I like just thinking of like little diamonds, little sparkles that hold cellular memory and hold the full expression of what I'm here for. And that's all moving around within me all the time, right? And now I get to take the physical action to start aligning with that and to put that out in the world, to show up from that way. I have to do the mental work around the beliefs so that I can align with it, believe that I can do it, believe that it's possible, see myself as worthy, see myself as the channel to take this and create this in the world. But then also the energetic signature and the fact that we are all energetic beings at the base level, and our soul is connected to the divine as well as connected to all across the planet, across the galaxy, across the universes. So there is no limitation to what your soul can connect to, can receive, the ability to channel information and have that divine download that suddenly ties things together and gives you the next steps for your mission or your business or your purpose or your path. That instantaneous receiving of like, whoa, how didn't I see this before? This is exactly what I get to go do, right? As well as how you move through the world and what your energetic field is representing. So I talk about this a lot And I just did another video about it with the lower self and the higher self. But your full embodiment in your soul's purpose has a very powerful energetic signature. So I invite you to think of the frequency of who you currently are. And just right now in this moment, no shame, no judgment, what are you embodying? What is the frequency that you are operating in? Is it like full and confident and empowered and feeling really good? Is it kind of timid, shy, filled with doubt? Is it really stuck in heavy pain and trauma and feeling like this big weight over top of it? Like, allow yourself to just reflect on that. And then think of the energetic signature and the energetic frequency of the version of you who's living out your highest purpose. The version of you who's already achieving the things that you know you're here to achieve. They've already got all those parts of the lifestyle, the business, the impact, the money, the finances, the relationships, the freedom, right? Feel what that version of you would be feeling like, and allow yourself to recalibrate energetically, because this should give you a very clear contrast, and there should be a clear difference between the current self and the desired full purposeful expression, right? So that already exists, and that's available for you, and that's what you're here for. And it's about the daily alignments to get there. So sometimes I like to think of it as reverse engineering of like the deep inner knowing of what you're here to create and the mission that you're here for. See that that already exists and it's already been achieved. It's inevitable, it's destined, it's deeply supported by the divine. And now we're just going to reverse engineer to get to where you are now in the present and say, oh, okay, so since that exists, since that's destined for me, since that's there, how am I going to show up today? Well, maybe I need to get these few things done and clean up that physical leak. Maybe I need to set boundaries or walk away from an environment because that's an energy leak and that's not a part of where I'm going. Maybe I need to reprogram some beliefs around what I think I can do so that I can step more confidently into this. Maybe I need to do the energy work because I feel like there's something holding me back. I don't know what it is, right? Maybe it's about recalibrating to that next level every single day and honoring that process, okay? But it's also that understanding and that full awareness of like that future, that desired impact, that mission and purpose is there. It exists in the quantum field, and I believe it exists in your soul already. I believe it exists in your body already. I believe it exists in your DNA already. I believe it is so deeply coded and programmed into you. And it's truly just a matter of you constantly getting aligned, clearing out the programming and the shit that isn't true so that you can keep aligning to your highest expression. So 2 things as I finish this up. I have a really powerful free quantum healing hypnosis activation that is about connecting to your mission template and feeling the expansion of how you show up in the world and how it ripples out and the impact that you're here for. This has been so powerful for me over the last year or 2 of really allowing myself to tune in deeper to the souls that I meant to support, the way I meant to feel, like how I meant to feel supported and relaxed while giving and also receiving, and allowing me to expand and normalize more bigness in my expression and what I'm creating. So the link for that is in the description. And also, this is a huge part and like the core components of what I teach inside Mission, which is my quantum healing hypnosis bundle, all about aligning to your soul's purpose and your greater mission and stepping fully into that. we dive into the genetics, the DNA, the physical recoding, as well as the subconscious clearing and reprogramming, as well as all the things with your energetic field and your energetic signature. So the link to join Mission and start doing this work, to learn more from me in the trainings, and also relax, reprogram, receive through the quantum healing hypnosis recordings, that is in the description as well if you want to dive in and have this support and really start blasting off into the next level of what you're here for. And this is work that you can come back to at any time and go through at any level of the stage in your journey and in your mission, because every part you're going to be able to expand even bigger and go into more with what you're creating or what you need to leave behind. And it's something that I personally have come back to at multiple times along the way. So the link is down below. Check it out. I'll see you on the inside, and I'm sending you so much love.